Thank you. Before we continue with the show, we have another death notices.
Hey, softball game Monday. Yeah, that'll be fun.
We're back. Quick, no one gets hurt. My next guest is a news anchor from MTV. She was the reporter during MTV's Choose or Lose Election 92 coverage. And through an interview, she introduced Bill Clinton to a whole new generation. Please welcome Tabitha Soren. Hello. How's it going?
Pretty good.
All right. Now you did, I guess a lot of people got to know you. You did the election coverage in the 92 election.
Mm-hmm.
And do they let you still do that now? Do you get to do that a lot?
Yes,
since the
MTV
election?
has continued covering it, and I've also continued covering some politics for NBC as well.
Oh, so you've gotten to continue this beat. Where have you gone with it?
Well, we've gone, actually, it took me until this year to actually visit the White House in my entire life, and I brought you some pictures.
It took you that long?
Yes, I'd never been there before.
I started dropping by when I was 18.
Well, most people go on a tour as a child, don't you think? I'd never been there.
No,
I never waited in
either.
line. But I brought you some pictures if you'd like to see them.
Oh, you have pictures of you at the White House?
Yes, they gave us a private tour to places that the other patrons don't get to go.
Right.
So in the basement, they have this long hallway of portraits of first ladies. And I think...
Want to bring
we have
that
a
up?
picture.
Let's bring up a picture.
Yeah, so this is Nancy Reagan, and I decided to sort of mimic her in front of it, because she seemed that she was thin enough standing straight forward. It seemed odd to me that for a painting she would turn to the side. You could almost see right through her.
Where is this painting exactly?
It's actually in the basement, practically. I mean, it's underneath the whole hallway. Is
I have my
very
paintings of myself in more prominent places in my
Well,
Fine.
I think each new president gets to choose where all the paintings are rearranged, and that's where she landed. But so did all the other first ladies. So, and then we also decided to see what the bathrooms in the White House were like. I mean, all of us have sort of wondered that at one time or another.
Wait,
so
you're both in the same bathroom?
Well, they pee like anyone else, it turns out. That's a urinal. That's my news director, Dave Sorolnik.
And this is, where is this bathroom exactly?
Right next to the Oval Office.
Wow.
Yes.
All right.
So that's a little behind the scenes. And then I went
Are there
back.
any paintings in there, or is that
No paintings,
free?
but there are little towels that you can steal. Which I did. And then we went back a couple months later because Soul Asylum, one of my favorite bands, played the White House, the first bill signing that a rock band ever played at.
They signed at a bill signing?
Yeah, National Service Act, they played. And I actually have a picture of some of the politicians who got set in the best seats in the very front row, but unfortunately, that was also right in front of the monitors, the PA. So they were a little disgruntled about
Soul
it.
Asylum isn't their thing, I take it.
It was just loud. I don't think they could even discern the guitars from the drums. It was just sort of overwhelming.
Now, you started, I thought that last year, the election, was the first time you really started seeing politicians sort of courting MTV or coming on MTV and doing interviews. Did they change their style significantly when they realized they're on MTV?
Well, I think it was a new thing, and so they did have to try to make themselves more MTV friendly. Jerry Brown wore flannel shirts. Bob Carey walked up to me saying, "I want my MTV."
Really?
There were little things like that, but I think our audience is smart enough to be entertained by that, but not vote for them for those reasons. I mean, even Bill Clinton having Soul Asylum at the White House is a nice idea. A lot of our viewers like that band, but that doesn't mean that they're going to forgive him for things promises that he broke or policies that he didn't go through with.
Okay, fair enough. What about, did you ever get to talk to Bush or any of the Republicans?
Yeah, I actually recently interviewed Senator Dole, and I also, and he said that he wanted to check into how much Soul Asylum were an hour so that he could bring them to the next Republican event they had because they were so well received.
Really, he was saying that he was a Soul Asylum fan? Was he trying to convince you of that, or?
No, I think he just wanted to cash in on whatever the Democrats were cashing in at the time, but...
That rock and roll seems...
We interviewed Bush as well. At the very end of the campaign, it was Halloween of last year. It was like 3 days before the election, so he waited for a really long time before he decided to speak with us.
But then he went all out.
No, he gave me 10 minutes.
Oh.
10 minutes in 10 months. It was very quick.
He came on with Jerry Garcia. You got to meet my good friend Jerry. You got to meet Janet Reno, didn't you?
Yes, we interviewed her this summer as well.
Now, because I would think, what's your impression? She comes across to some people as a very tough, kind of no-nonsense person.
I think it's her job to be tough. Her job is also very top secret. You walk into her office, and even the receptionist has all of the messages from people calling upside down, so a passerby can't really glance over and find out any information that they shouldn't. Her desk is also like that. All the papers are face down. She was actually we walked to work at 7 a.m. She has these 16-hour days. She had this big black notebook full of, I assume, confidential papers, and one of the construction workers on the street waved to her and said, "How you doing, Janet?" And she went to wave back. She dropped the folder all over the street. The papers went flying. The FBI agents were diving onto the ground, and I've got my cameras rolling for the entire thing. But at the end of it, she was like, "See what you made me do." She didn't get angry. She didn't get flustered. It was just, people make mistakes, and that was sort of a klutzy, but, so what?
That compromised our national security.
No, they got all the papers back.
All right.
She's very candid for someone whose job seems so top secret.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, listen, and you want to, is your plan to stay with MTV? I know you're branching out, but...
It's a nice combination, doing the hard news for NBC and having a mixture at MTV. At the end of the campaign, I got very tired of trying to muddle through politician sound bites that weren't really answers, and I was always looking forward to interviewing some long-haired skinny rock star, just as something refreshing. But then they get very tiring because a lot of them can't finish their sentences. So then you go, so it's
got
a nice
the best
mixture.
of both worlds.
Yeah.
World. Sorry.
We've actually what I've been doing lately is working on a show on kids and guns and violence. Youth violence is a very hot topic right now. But we did a half-hour special, and like a lot of people, I went into it thinking that kids with guns live in projects. They're, they're poor, and I found out that but a lot of the kids are white. They live in very wealthy neighborhoods, and the people with the most money can afford the biggest, most expensive guns, and it's a really. That's
the great thing about our society.
We went into a Walmart in New Orleans and bought a pistol grip shotgun with an 18-year-old in about 20 minutes in a Walmart. They won't sell Nirvana's In Utero album because it's supposed to be too risque, but they're ready to sell, these huge guns that are used to saw off the barrel. And there's no reason a hunting gun would have a pistol grip, because if you hunt, if you know this, you put it on your shoulder. So
I use a machine gun when I hunt. It's much more effective. It puts the deer right down. All right, I'm sorry, we're going to have to step away, and thank you very much for coming. We'll be right back with comedian Conan.